And we're on.
Hey, we're here.
We are.
How's that for not being organised when we're supposed to start?
But just getting everyone to actually sit in front of a camera is a lot more challenging than you'd think.
You can see lights moving. I'm just watching the Handycam there. I can see lights moving in the background and all sorts of things. So welcome to Bullion Now. I'm Michael. And this is Andrew sitting down, and Con's going to join us in a second as well. So they're just trying to drag the furniture around because some idiot came up with a great idea of about 30 seconds ago. Yeah, come on into the studio. You'll be right. So
What could go wrong?
what could possibly go wrong in this chaos?
Yes, the lighting is dark. It was fine, and then they've shifted everything around. Thank you, STI Custom. Things were good.
Just
dear.
bring the chair.
All right, so for those who, I'll try and keep us all entertained. Poor old Ruben's rolling his eyes.
I'm nice and close to you,
We're
Mike.
getting cosy. I don't know how we're going to share this microphone, Rubes.
Yeah, they're going to have to kind of move it between them, I think.
What are you doing, Con?
Yeah, chuck it over.
Oh, this was not a good idea, was it? Good fun. Alrighty, so for those who were on the boat in Melbourne last week, will recognise these two smiling faces because they were both there. They're both going to share a microphone, and you both look fairly similar to each other. What's going on there?
Yeah, there might,
You tell us, Michael.
there might be a striking resemblance.
Yeah,
Good looks.
yeah, those rugged good looks, you reckon?
You got to keep the mic close, guys, to what it like. It's a right in front of your mouth kind of a
All right.
thing.
Yeah, mate.
So, Andrew, why don't you kick off and let us know who you are and where you fit into this crazy picture?
No worries. So my name's Andrew, as Michael's just said. But yeah, look, I've been I got in a couple of years ago when that can't say that C word, but when we had that little dip in the market, and that's when I first dipped my toes into the metals. Probably due to this guy here, who got me into the game, and ever since then I've been into bullion, and I got out a lot of it actually when the price jumped up, but yeah, so I've been a fan of bullion ever since in the last couple of years. What's
your role here, mate?
Doing everything and anything. Whatever you tell me to do, Michael, it gets done.
It's pretty accurate too, actually. It's a case of whatever we turn our hands to.
Goldberg wants you to blink twice if you're there against your will, Andrew.
Yeah, that's right.
Like 100 times.
So, what's your formal position?
Well, it'd be customer service at the moment, doing a lot of the phones and helping out a lot of the customers with their issues, and doing a lot of phone orders as well.
We don't have customers with issues. What are you talking about?
Not many.
So,
Do you want me to blink again?
yeah, that's right. So if you phone in, so what's our phone? 1300 84 84 10. So if you call in, you'll probably talk to the either the lovely Sylvia or Andrew will be on the phone, and they'll be able to answer all your questions there. And if you're sending in an email at the moment, if you get a response, and we're a little behind in responses, you could get a response from any of us at the moment because we're getting a bit punished with emails, but quite often Andrew's the lead on email responses as well. So that's Andrew's role here, and that's a bit of his background. So, Con, you want to tell us who you are and how you fit in the system?
I've been on live stream before, Michael.
You
A
have.
few people know who I am, but yeah, I know I've been stacking for a while, about three years or so ago. But yeah, my first purchase was with you guys on Ruben's first day working here, and been coming back ever since, and so much that I even work here now. So,
What first got you involved?
to be honest, I think it was you and somebody else who told me about it, Andrew, and I was looking into stocks and a few other options about how to improve my wealth and things like that, and I was researching precious metals, and it was just fascinated me, the history, learning about the history of money and things like that, and I've been hooked ever since.
You've got a very interesting background though, Con. You want to
In
fill us in?
what way?
fill us in on your previous lives.
Oh, all right. Okay.
You don't have to go through all of it, mate. Just
No, that's
what you're
all right.
prepared to.
Yeah, sure. What can I say? So I've actually got a master's in engineering. So go back to after I finished high school, did an undergrad of mechanical engineering at RMIT. Then that got me into doing a year in Germany, which was interesting. So worked at Continental Tires over there, and that was a great experience. And then spent some time, another year in Greece. I was
What were you
even
doing there?
I was even in the army for 3 months there. Did national service, just because I could. Just something a bit different, something a bit crazy while I was a bit younger, because I had some time. Why not? But yeah, came back, did my master's in engineering and sustainable energy. Worked in the food industry after that, doing material and production planning, and that brings me here pretty much. Yeah, and it's looking good. I love it here, so don't want to go anywhere else.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Did he pay you to say that? What's going on, Michael? Where's the gold? There's normally a bunch of gold on the table.
Yeah, we're slipping today, aren't we?
It's all gone through the shop.
Yeah, we are actually. I got to say, when I was just down in the shop just before we came live, and I think it was Brett was saying, "Where's this?" And I'm going, he said, "When do we get more delivery of the 1 ounce locally produced?" I went, "Late next week." Oh, well, this is my last 3. What am I supposed to do after that? I said, "Oh, you got Perth mints." No. Oh, you've got no. Oh, but you've got no. Like, oh. So I'm going to be busy over the weekend trying to find some stock so we can open next week. So that's probably why it's bare here.
Yeah, it's flying out.
So, what's been your favourite moment at Bullion Now, you two?
Jeez, favourite.
Are you thinking because there's been so many, or are you just trying to find one?
No, I'm trying to find the best one. It's probably just the camaraderie that we have here, and being able to be mean to Brett. Probably that's
That's a national sport.
it's the most fun part of working here.
For me, it's probably just having all the bullion around like all the time and just being able to see what comes through.
Surrounded by silver and gold.
It's
just as
pretty
a
cool.
regular, yeah.
See, I think Andrew has actually the best job. And look, the phones can be pretty wearing. You know, when the phones are going off and you're just phone call after phone call after phone call and you just don't get a break, they can be pretty wearing. But where his desk is, he's got a little desk. It's not a huge desk, I'll give him that. But he's got one of the few views out into the real world, out into the sunlight. And he's also in one of our... This sounds terrible. He's actually in one of our storage units. So he's surrounded by gold and silver bars all around him. And I think he's got the best office out of any of us.
Yeah, I wouldn't quite call it an office.
You've got the most expensive office in Melbourne.
It's probably true.
Oh, good stuff. Alrighty, gents. Well, I've probably distracted you for long enough, haven't I?
Up to you.
Probably beats working, that's for sure.
Oh, dear. Alrighty. I probably...
Are you kicking us out? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to kick you out.
All right.
So, thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers.
It was just... It's more... We often get comments of, you like Matt and myself, and Ruben, are you the only guys that work there? And, I can't put a face to any of these names and people that I talk to. So, bringing you online every so often is good because it lets people know when they phone in to abuse us exactly who they're abusing. So, yeah, Andrew does phones. Con backs him up quite a bit, but Con's also in the store.
Feel free to abuse, I'm used to it now. So.
That's right.
That's the spirit.
No, it's all good. All right, thanks, fellas.
All right, thanks,
We'll,
Michael.
We'll see you later.
See you later,
on.
everyone.
Now we're going to watch them try and get out without doing themselves an injury.
Well, I'm going to shift us over to some images that we got sent in from our trip over to Perth. So this is from a viewer who wanted us to put up some images, and he's holding the kilo bar with you and Matt as well. And while I've got that up temporarily, I'm going to disappear here and try and fix up the camera and the lights that have been mucked around. So I will be back momentarily.
Mike's on. Oh, I'm still live. Sorry, guys. I thought Ruben said I wasn't live anymore. Excellent. So I want to catch up on some questions, since we've distracted everyone. And you'll have to excuse me if I duck to the side every second or so, because since we've been in Perth, don't know what it is about Perth, but about 2 minutes after we landed in Perth, my asthma went through the roof, and I've never quite recovered from it. So a week and a half later, I'm still struggling to breathe. So if I'm wheezing a little bit, it is not COVID. It is just my asthma trying to re-flare again. Alrighty, so let's get some
We're
questions
back on visuals
answered.
as well. There we go.
There you go. So I'm skipping backwards a bit. Don't worry, Violet. There's not so many new faces. Those guys. Con's been with us. Geez, it must be getting close to 6 months now. Con's been with us, and Andrew can't be that much behind. He started probably 3 months after. So yeah, they've probably been here about 3 months and 6 months. And I got to say, you couldn't ask for better work colleagues. They are fantastic. They're top blokes, so we're very fortunate to have them. What else we got here?
Apparently, you promised STI Custom some of the XAG blank rounds on the stream previously, and they've emailed in, and they're still waiting to hear from you about listing those as well.
Trying to think what I did with them. Blank rounds. I'm sure they're still on my desk. Actually, you could hide a car on my desk at the moment. There's so much junk on it. I'll have to look it up, mate, and get back to you on that. I'm hoping I still have them. What else we got?
Do precious metal prices vary from country to country?
All precious metal prices are based on spot price in the local currency. Premiums vary. So spot price the same the world around. It goes up and down second to second, minute to minute. But the excuse me, the premium above it varies much more. So the premium above spot for, let's say, US Eagles in Australia is far higher than the premium above spot in the US. And we'd probably find vice versa. A kangaroos in Australia, premium-wise, would be a heck of a lot cheaper than, say, the US. You also have local taxation differences. So if you're buying silver in the UK, you'll find it's dearer than it is, say, in Australia, because it incurs GST in the UK where it doesn't here. Krugerrands and sovereigns are dearer in Australia than they generally are overseas, because they incur GST here and they don't overseas. So there's all those little idiosyncrasies that occur to drive us insane.
Do you find premiums for different items vary greatly from place to place? So, what is super easy to get a hold of in one country will set you back, any crazy amount different in another?
Yeah, you do. When I'm in Germany, I'm often surprised at the price of gold kangaroos, Perth mint kangaroos. But when you think about it, I know Perth's not just up the road, but Perth mint's just up the road, and it's a lot easier for us to get hold of them, whereas, the overseas guys have got to pay much higher expenses to get them in, so that drives the premium up quite a lot. So yeah, I'm often surprised at the premium on those basic Australian things. We tend to be a little bit more, I would say, competitive in Australia as well between bullion dealers, so the premiums are squeezed as much as possible, whereas overseas they seem to be able to actually push those premiums out a bit further than we possibly could, even taking into account the extra expenses of importing stuff.
Apparently, Aussie Keelpy saying you promised a special today.
I absolutely did, and I only remembered that as we were jumping online. We don't actually have one, so I'm going to have to apologise on that. We did have something in mind, Rubes, didn't we?
We had one thing that I was going to float by you. I don't know if you remember. There was a certain Russian.
The Palladium.
Oh, okay. You're just going to say it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So we did have some Palladium, but we haven't got that organised as of yet. So you might have to stand by and see that one next week.
There we go.
We possibly also need to get hold of young Matt. He's meant to be coming in and saying hello.
I was going to say, it seems to be quite difficult to get people actually sitting in front of the camera.
Yeah. So I don't know where he is, and I don't even know who's around to get hold of him for me. So everyone's a bit busy out there.
Question here: would we buy 5 1/10ths and 2 quarter ounce gold as 1 ounce gold, or separately?
We buy them individually.
Yeah, so we'd have to invoice them out as 5 1/10ths or 2 quarters. Someone wants to know, with the new website, will it be easier to keep track of unallocated rather than having to go back through previous orders?
I don't know if it will be on day one. It will be as we move further forward. But, I'm a little bit nervous about the start as to how easily it will present. But if it's not as easy as I'm hoping, then we will obviously throw more resources into it and try and make it. But day one it may not be, but not too far in the future it should be much easier. Yes, and just on that, we probably need to start talking about it, and Ruben and I need to start doing some videos on it. We are, as a shop, we are actually going to shut at the end of this month. Not permanently. Don't get stressed. We are going to be shut for several days over the Melbourne Cup weekend. So that is the first Tuesday of November. So let me get exact dates so I stop making things up on the run. So we will be closed we'll shut on the 28th of October at 5 p.m. And we will shut the website and the shop down for the Saturday, the Sunday, and at this stage the Monday and the Tuesday. We will definitely be shut for those days. We won't be taking any sales. You won't be able to create any new accounts or anything along those sort of lines as we migrate across to the new systems that we're installing. Now we're going to minimise that time as much as we can, and I know that the programmers and Merrin are pushing for that to be a day or two longer. So we haven't set the final days in concrete. We will definitely finish at 5 o'clock on that Friday. I'm hoping that we can come up with a system that still allows sales as early as practical. It will take them the week to actually get everything up and running again, but I'm hoping that we can actually introduce some sales earlier than that, or the ability to do sales earlier than that. But don't panic if end of October you go onto our webpage and it comes up with out of action. No, we haven't shut. No, we haven't disappeared into the sunset or anything along those sort of lines. We're just migrating to a new system. But we will keep you updated. We'll absolutely give you far more detail on that as time goes by and the dates get closer. But if you can start planning that into your purchasing diary, that would be very much appreciated. And tell everyone you know that deals with us, because the last thing we want is people panicking when they log onto our website on a Saturday because they haven't heard that we're actually migrating to a new system.
The STR Custom reckons the world's ending. Run for the hills.
That's right.
There's also a couple of questions about the rabbit sitting there. Fanta reckons it's Matt sitting there on the desk right in front of you. But yeah,
that would be the quokka.
There's a few people wondering what's going to be happening with the rabbit. So we'll have to go through that at some stage. There is also there's one here from Grimace that they've sent a question into the live stream email. I've read that one. I'm not sure if you have. But I think it contains some personal information in it. So if that is one that you could read just for yourself at some stage and maybe reply, but probably
don't
not.
want a response on.
I don't think on stream. I wasn't
stop
sure.
looking it up then.
Yeah, I can check that one with you later. We'll also have to update the website with some more 1 gram gold unallocated when we can.
If you keep talking, I can do it now.
I keep distracting you long enough. You can do anything.
That's the one.
All right. There's been a couple of questions about this, but lots of people after the next in the Queen's Virtue series, wanting to know what the go is with them. If we're getting them, is it going to be this year or next year?
It will be next year. Yes, we are getting them, and I'm blowed if I can remember what it is.
Is it Harmony next, or am I getting that confused because it's the Victory through Harmony?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Let me just stack a whole bunch of questions onto you, and it's basically how the day goes normally.
Consists of 6. We've had Have we had 3 or have we had 4?
We've had. I wanted to say 2. We've had the victories and the truths so
We've
far
had-
in the 5 ounce
Yeah,
silver.
so victory through Harmony.
Yep.
Second coin, so there's charity. All things through charity.
We haven't had charity
Which
yet.
I don't think we had. Then we had Truth Conquers All, which is the one we've just had in. So Let Justice Be Done is meant to actually be released this year. But I suspect... No, actually, we should actually be able to see that one soon.
Are we going to get charity then?
If I can get hold of it, I will. But we had some charity ones in.
I don't remember seeing them.
Maybe I'm dreaming. And
Alan is
then
dreaming.
fifth coin's by wisdom and courage, and the sixth one is constancy. So the intent is to get them as they become available. So yeah, we should absolutely see them through.
There you go. Aussie Kelpie wants to know when we're opening up on Saturdays. I feel like this question is asked every week, and your answer is the same. We're trying to focus on getting getting it stocked and everything working throughout the week, let alone adding an extra day onto things.
Yeah, it's fun and games. I would love to open on Saturday immediately, but we're struggling to keep a decent amount of stock into the shop Monday to Friday. Adding an extra day on, I'm worried we'll throw extra pressure on that. I don't think we're far away from it. And possibly the introduction of this new system at the end of the month will delay it a little bit longer. But within a few weeks, we should be able to open on a Saturday as well.
It's normally a bit of and I've said this countless times, but it is normally a little bit of a quieter time for stock anyway, just because of the swapping over from 2022 to 2023. But yeah, hopefully we'll start getting some stuff through again soon. Is there any chance that previous order details will be lost during the transition to the new website?
Oh. Matt's just staggered through the door. What a day. No, the previous orders won't be lost. They'll absolutely we'll be able to see them. And I don't actually know. From the website, I believe, like if you've placed orders over the web, I believe you will still be able to see them. But at the moment, we're still a little bit on... we're not sure what we're going to be able to see on the final product and what we aren't. But as far as I'm aware, it all gets... Yeah, we can do that. As far as I'm aware... No, you've got to leave the rabbit on, mate. You've got to leave the rabbit. You need the rabbit there. And yeah, the rock. Just there, mate.
Bit of rock and roll.
Yeah, so my understanding is you will be able to see your history on there. I want to actually drag us back.
What's going on? Could the energy be any flatter in the room, boys? How exciting. Glad to be here.
Jeez, you give him a day off and what happens? All hell
Oh,
breaks loose.
you're joking, mate.
You say a day, but I think Matt hasn't been on stream for like 2 weeks plus.
I know, so let's get excited. Turn it up a bit, shall we?
I'm going to bring the mood down for a second.
Great. You want me to just step out for a minute?
Yeah. So Reese Cook has asked a question earlier on, and I just want to drag us back to it a bit, just because it's a little bit relevant with what's been going on this last week. So he's got here another company posted a sale on Wednesday, allegedly made a mistake on the price, changed it within a few minutes. However, a purchase was made. How would BN deal with this? Look, this is a really sticky one, and I'm not going to speak on behalf of another company, but obviously this is digging a little bit into what occurred on a lot of websites around the world on Monday.
Well, there were some follow-up questions about us specifically as well. From that.
I probably haven't got down to them yet.
That's right.
So look, I don't know about this individual sale, so I'm going to go on two sides here. So one is, as Bullion Now, if we listed a sale item and we listed it inadvertently at the incorrect price, we would honour the price, and we've done that many times in history. I know a couple of months ago, I listed a 1 ounce gold coin, and I happened to copy the so in the back end of our website system, you can actually just duplicate a previous listing, and I duplicated a previous listing for a 1/2 ounce coin and changed the details so it reflected on the 1 ounce coin. I updated the pricing structure on it as well, made it live, but I didn't. It takes 3 minutes for our system to reset every time, like the pricing structure to reset. And I didn't wait the full 3 minutes. I was in a hurry to come on live stream, actually. I didn't wait the full 3 minutes, so it hadn't reset properly. So we actually sold or listed these 1 ounce gold coins at half-ounce gold prices, and I think 3 of them sold in the 3 minutes it took for it to reset itself, and we absolutely honoured that. So that's what we'd do. The flip side of that is what occurred on Monday, where it was something completely out of our control. It was a worldwide pricing feed on the Australian AUD USD pairing. It fed through, and in fact, I think Ruben was telling me yesterday, you can actually see it on the Google charts if you look on the foreign exchange pricing on
the USD
Google.
to AUD, yeah.
It still shows on there. It shows the glitch. So it impacted Google, impacted a lot of major companies around the world, and it impacted on us. It was completely outside of our control. It did impact the pricing quite a lot. We had to seek advice on where we stood legally on that one through the ACCC and privately. And with that one, we're actually going to, because it was so far out of our control, and we jumped on it as quick as we could, we are actually going to reverse those transactions and refund any monies that have occurred, transferred in the meantime. And with the people that we've done that with, we've offered them, basically we've apologised, obviously outside our control, and your next deal that comes through, we will try and give you a preferential treatment as much as we can on a future purchase, so as an apology. But so there's two different scenarios that we've painted there. One is when the information is so far out of our control, like the misfeed, and if you look on our T's and C's or whatever it is, it actually talks about pricing misfeeds. When it's that far out of our control, then we do try and correct. But if it's completely our stuff up, like if the listing of the 1 ounce gold coin is a half ounce gold coin, look, that's on me. So absolutely, we honour that one every time. What are the follow-up questions, mate?
Well, it was kind of just not just talking about the thing in general, but kind of specifically us. Let me see if I can find it. How would Bullion Now handle that situation? And what are the obligations if something is advertised as a sale and price has been locked in and deposit paid? Curious to know, excluding any external factors like glitches. So there was specifically there talking about an internal mistake, like you were talking about there with the half ounce. So
if and it doesn't have to be Bullion Now, any company that inadvertently lists an error on a website or anything along those sort of lines, it's not locked in until the transaction has been accepted by both parties. So the offer has been made, but that offer is not considered concluded until both parties actually do the transaction. So you can't mislead people. You can't list a lower pricing and then build it up. It's more because it's Wednesday. It's more because of. But if it's a complete error, then according to the Australian consumer law, no, that's the wrong term, the legislation that involves consumers anyway, it actually states there that it can actually be reversed. And so a lot of parties, I know a major electronics company in the very recent times listed a whole stack of computers at a heavily discounted price, and it was an obvious error, and they backed out of it. And they were told that they absolutely could when it went to the ACCC. So there is absolutely that legislation in there. And while it seems unfair, if you're on the buying side, you've also got to understand that businesses can't afford. Everyone makes mistakes. We live in a human society. We don't expect perfection out of everyone. We see errors come through the store every day on both sides of the counter. You've got to accept that, and you've got to look at the future picture and the future relationships that go on. So
thanks for highlighting the cut in the tablecloth there, Matt. Just to draw attention to it. Yeah, thank you.
Put me to sleep, Michael. Get a bit more excited, mate.
Well, it's a bit hard to
Friday live stream. This is one where we light it up. Have a bit of energy.
It's a bit hard to get excited about that sort of garbage.
Yeah, jeez.
But we are here. You've arrived from your travels all around Australia.
I have.
There's people
I was thinking about that
to know
song.
how
I've
the
been
trip was.
everywhere, man. I think that's about me.
I think
week and a half.
you've done every state of Australia in the last 3 weeks, haven't you?
Yeah. And it's damn near killed me.
Yeah, it's not
Things you do
boredom.
for
It's
a
not
love of
boredom you're
coins and
seeing on his
bullion.
face. It's just death.
I remember in a previous life at a previous company where there was a lot of travel involved, like for training and that sort of stuff. And you could always tell you'd get a group of, there was 40 trainers of us at one stage.
Yeah.
And, the boss would stand up the front and say, oh, I've got this, this trip training over in New Zealand or over in, Hong Kong or something for 2 weeks. Who wants it? And you'd see all the new guys going, oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic. And then all the older guys, and we'd be shrinking in our seats down the back.
100%. It's such an interesting thing because I remember before I was entered the workforce, I thought, the ultimate dream would be a job where I can travel. As soon as you get into it, for first leg, not so bad. Second leg, you start to realize you maybe not as physically and mentally fit as you thought you were. But yeah, leg number 5, it's sort of you're running on fumes
Yeah.
and nothing else. But yeah, it's certainly, kept me on my toes.
I used to say to people that, for those that don't know, I've got 5 kids. And I used to say the first night in the hotel is great. I get a hot feed, which, like when my kids were younger, you never got because you always got interrupted. I could have a shower and there was no one banging on the door saying, Dad. Like I got to read the newspaper from cover to cover without interruption. I went to bed when I wanted. I woke up. Well, not quite when you wanted, but, you woke up in the morning. But I got to tell you, after the first night, I was done. I just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it.
Yeah, it is. That is very valid as well. Like the idea of living in hotels. Yeah, you're right. Fun for a night, and then you think, it's not all my familiar things around. And if I want to, do something, you can't. But it's been good. It sounds like I'm just whinging. It's been a lot of fun. The kind of thing you do maybe maybe it'll be an annual at the absolute most. I don't think you could do this every quarter or every 6 months. It's certainly...
There's a few people relating there, whether it's FIFO workers or air crew or there's a few.
Yep. And that stuff, you do that kind of work and people say, oh, that must be such a great lifestyle. Yeah, it's brutal. It's something else.
Yeah.
So I guess we've had a teeny dose of what a lot of people deal with. So I'm brave enough to admit that I'm a bit precious with my sleep cycle and my habits.
How was the show itself? There's a couple of people asking.
Oh the
Ander?
Sydney Ander show.
Yep.
It was great. It was full on. I think I showed you, Ruben, maybe. I showed someone a photo of the crowd. It was astronomical. I think it was the biggest opening morning for an Ander show that I've ever seen. I don't know. There must have been like 600, 700, 800 people queuing up. It was out of control. It was sort of snaking out and around the corner. And
You should be used to that working here, mate.
yeah, but see, this is like a steady. Yeah, we get it steady, but it's not. It's a little daunting when it's as far as the eye can see, and you're looking at the products that you've got to sell, and you're thinking, we're not going to get through this. So we sold out of all the Ander stuff on Saturday. So lots of delightful feedback coming my way from the punters, but I'll put on a brave face and do my best. But it's a lot of fun.
I'm loving reading some of these comments, Depends on your hotel. Some hotels are great. No. I've stayed in 6-star hotels, and I got to tell you, the first 24 hours are great. Every hour after that, I don't care how good it is. It sucks.
Yep. And I often find that and this is getting right deep into my psychological state. When I wake up first thing in the morning, if I'm not at home, I get very disoriented. I get real confused. I don't know where I am, what's going on. It's good fun.
I had to laugh though, because I took these guys, particularly Rubes, took him into the airport lounge, and eyes out on stalks, like all the drinks you want, all the, they lay out all the food and all that, and it was really exciting and great fun. And I reckon by the third time I took you into a new airport, it was like,
you just
really
sort of collapse into a chair and you just
do we really have to do this again?
Stop talking as well. A lot less banter between the lads.
Yeah, that's right. Oh dear, good fun. Anyway, we've got some questions. I'm sure we've got some questions.
What do we got?
Someone wanting to know if we buy back Palladium.
Yes,
We do. There you
we
go.
do.
You pay spot for it though, Michael.
No, we don't for Palladium. I believe it's 90% for Palladium.
Palladium's one of those ones like the rhodium family of right up there in price.
Yeah, well, it's only 3 to 3.5 grand an ounce.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not very commonly traded, and it's the same as anything. If we can move it quickly, we're quite happy to pay that bit more for it. So we
Yeah.
pay spot for it.
Yep.
If we're going to have to sit on it potentially for quite a while, which Palladium doesn't sell every day. So, like we go, well, we're going to have to hold on to it. That's money that we can't churn. So therefore, we're going to give you a little bit less for it.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to talk about what this is? What is this?
Which one? The rabbit or the rock?
No. Everyone knows what a rabbit is. This.
The rock. We're actually going to do a video on it. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so I've blown the surprise.
Yes.
Well, that's what you
a
get.
little
when you
bit.
Watch
So,
the live streams. You also
it's,
see that we've been ripping holes in our nice tablecloth.
Yeah, well, some idiot must have done an unboxing
yeah.
up
What's
here.
that? You going with a box cutter straight into the table?
Yes, must have got a bit overexcited with that
Oh,
one.
well,
So
nothing sticky tape can't fix.
that's right. So, but there's an interesting story behind this rock. So stand by on it.
Oh, stay tuned. Watch
Yeah.
this space.
And we do need to talk about the rabbit, even though you said everyone knows what a rabbit is. Because what's Monday?
I don't know, International Rabbit Day? Nah, the new Lunar release.
So as of Monday, you will be able to order your new Lunar release coins from the Perth
Are we
Mint.
taking pre-orders?
Well, from us. Via the Perth Mint. No, from us.
Bullion Now. So what's the story? Are we taking pre-orders in
So,
advance or on that release
No,
day?
Monday we can start taking pre-orders. So Monday the 17th. So we're actually going to do this a little differently. We're desperately trying to not crash the website again.
Good luck.
So we're actually going to make the website is going to change for about an hour and a half on Monday.
Mm.
So you're going to be able to log in at 9 o'clock onto the website, and you're going to be able to access a couple of forms, so Monday forms, and that's your expression of your ballot for the Platinum Lunar Rabbit. Because we
clever.
couldn't come up with a better way or a fairer way to spread the love around with that one. If we listed them all on the web, they'd be gone in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Even if we limited it to one per person, it'd just be the first, 30-odd, 40-odd people that actually, 50-odd, 60-odd, whatever it is, odd people that actually got on there and managed to get through the system crashing
Yeah.
and place an order, and there'd be a lot of angry people. So what we're going to do is actually open it up as a ballot. So you put your name down. You'll go into the draw for a Lunar Bullion Rabbit, a Lunar Platinum Rabbit.
Platinum Rabbit, yeah.
And we will draw that name on the Friday. So you'll be able to put your name down any time from Monday 9 o'clock through till Friday live, just before the live stream probably.
So we're doing there'll be a video explaining that and promoting
Hopefully,
that,
if I get time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you're going to get a lot of feedback on that if we don't
So
push it as a thing that we're doing.
So then it'll be a random draw for.
as well. Is there,
Sorry, mate.
Are they all going online then? Or
I think I think the only fair way to do the platinums is online. As in, and look, I'm happy for those that say, well, that's not fair. I'm technologically challenged. I think we'll open up the ballot for in store. If people want to come in store and drop off their name in store and their contact,
That's a good idea.
we're happy to take that as part of the ballot mix.
Seems as close as you can get to a fair setup, but
we're trying.
yeah, there'll be feedback no matter what. I
Oh,
can tell you firsthand, and to Sydney, lots of feedback.
Yeah.
It's good.
So the other one you'll be able to access is an expression of interest for the 1 ounce silver rabbit.
Okay.
Because that
The
one,
1 ounce silver, is that limited?
yeah, well, it's limited to 300,000 every year.
Yeah, but we don't normally sell out in one day, do we?
Yeah, I'm concerned we will.
Holy moly!
I think the Queen's changed things up a bit.
Yeah. So
yeah, she's pretty. Yeah,
we're
fairly
putting in an
impactful.
EOI. So what we're trying to do is get as many people as we can to get them at least some. So you put in your expression of interest. It's not locking you in because, to be honest, you'd be doing me a favour if you cancelled your order. But yeah, we're not locking anyone in. But if you can say, look, I'd like 1, or I'd like 10, or I'd like 20, or I'd like 100, and we will take that all into account. We'll try and make sure that everyone gets at least 1 or 2. But then we'll be able to actually look at okay, well these people wanted 10. Please don't over order. Don't say I want 1,000 of them. And then, so when we offer you 1,000, you turn around and say, oh, well, actually, I only wanted 3. I'm just kind of maxing it out. Put in what you actually want. We will try and fill everyone that we possibly can as much as we can. But, yeah, we unfortunately, we're limited to the number that Perth will offer us or have offered us.
Are you able to say what that number is? Ian's
I
asking?
can't at the moment, mainly because I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
And I haven't looked at it for a couple of weeks.
Not many.
Nowhere near as many as we're going to need. And the thing is that I fully expect Perth to turn around in 3 or 4 weeks and say, look, we've had X number of cancelled orders. We've got another X available. Would you like them? So you may see them appear on the website and then, well, that's not true. I don't think they will actually ever appear on the website. I think, you may find that we come back and say, look, you asked for 50 or for 20. We're only able to offer you 10, but we've just had Perth Mint come back to us and say, look, there's another, X available. Would you like a top up? So that's what we're hoping for with that. And look, I've got to emphasize that is only for the 1 ounce platinum and the 1 ounce silver. The 1 ounce gold, I don't believe we're going to sell out of instantaneously because we've got a decent, what I consider a decent allocation on that. Having said that, I don't think it's going to last that long, but I think it'll last longer than the day. So we'll release that. And the other sizes, all except for the 1/20th in the gold, the 5 ounce in the silver, the 1 kilo in the silver, and the 10 kilo in the silver, all of those will be released during the day, and you'll be able to place all of the other ones, other than those, will be released during the day, and you'll be absolutely able to place your pre-orders. We are expecting delivery of them by the end of the month. I will be amazed if it arrives then, but all indications at the moment from Perth are that we will have them in our hot little hands by the end of the month, and we'll be able to start filling orders from that point onwards.
Beautiful. And the rock's name is definitely named Dwayne. I'm going to override whatever's being said here. Dwayne, 100%. You get that? You get that reference, Michael?
Dwayne the Rock.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Anthony's asking if they're going to be coming in rolls of 20 in the 1 ounce silver.
Yes.
Surely, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing's changed there.
Drew is asking if they put their name in on the ballot to win one, but manage to secure one from somewhere else in the meantime, are they able to cancel?
Look, as I said,
we have said in the past, basically get them where you can.
Yeah, look, I've got to be honest with you, get them where you can. And if you secure one and you only want one, absolutely take your name off the ballot. You'll be doing me a favour. Look, at the end of the day...
Wait, hang on. I have a thing for this. I have a not financial advice thing that now scrolls on the screen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is not financial advice. Look, at the end of the day, honestly, if you cancelled off the ballot or off the EOI, you'd be doing us a favour. I don't care. If we had no sales on the platinum at the end of the ballot, everyone said, no, I've secured it elsewhere, I'd be stoked because A, I'd actually get some, and then B, we will absolutely sell them throughout the rest of the year. I have no problem with being left with every single one of our allocation. So do not be shy of saying, I grabbed it elsewhere. You're not going to offend me, not even slightly.
Very good. Yeah, that's nice. I like this little watermark as well.
Oh, in the corner.
Yeah,
I had noticed
high
that.
quality production all of a
Very
sudden.
sweet.
Did some rejigging of some things today.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Marie, the 2 ounce silver rabbit should be available throughout the rest of the year. So should the look at the hiccups. So should the half ounce. So should the 5 ounce and the kilo. But we all know it's not going to
They're
be.
all good stories in theory.
Yeah. Look, the problem is that they do a production run. So, because they've got to tool up the machines. They've only got X number of machines, and they don't only use them for the rabbit. And by they, I mean Perth Mint. They don't only use them for the rabbit. They use them for a lot of things. So they will change the dies over, and they will produce a gazillion of these. Whatever they think they need for the next, couple of months. Then they will change the dies over, and they'll start producing something else. If the demand is higher, and they say, well, we're not going to produce these again for 3 months, but they sell out in 6 weeks, then there is no more for those 6 weeks until they can manage to squeeze in another production run. And that assumes they manage to squeeze in the production run because, they might have a fault. They might have, the machine go down for maintenance. They might have, something else grabs priority. So while I'm saying they should be available for most of the year, I'm not guaranteeing. It could be that they disappear. The half ounce, I think, is it the half ounce or the 2 ounce? No, it might be the 2 ounce. So Perth Mint assured me they'd have heaps of them in stock. I've massively overordered the 2 ounce Tigers, like massively overordered. I thought I had enough to last me well into 2023, and I think we've sold out of them. And I think we have been for about 4 or 5 weeks. So the best planning of mice and men. Still, you can't guarantee they're always going to be there. So if you've got the money and you want them, my suggestion is secure them because we can't guarantee them available at all times. I mean, heck, we've seen that with the Perth Mint Kilo bar just lately. I mean, that's just a standard cast bar.
Yeah.
And we've been without those for a week or two.
Yep. Long overdue.
Yeah.
Aussie Kelpie wants to know the exact sizes that are definitely coming. They've phrased it as.
So in gold, 1/10, 1/4, 1/2, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and 10 ounce. And we have confirmed orders for all of those in with the Perth Mint.
The 120th is going to be delayed.
The 120th in the gold is delayed. And I don't know if they're doing a 10 ounce gold this year. Sorry, not a 10 ounce, a kilo gold. They are definitely doing the 10 ounce gold.
Have they done kilo golds of the Tiger?
No, not of the Tiger. They haven't done a kilo gold. We were talking about this on Wednesday, I think.
Hmm.
They haven't done a kilo gold Lunar, I think, since the snake.
A 10 kilo, we were talking.
Oh, that was the 10
We were
kilo,
talking
wasn't
10
it?
kilos.
Yeah. That was the 10 kilo we were talking about for that one in gold.
Okay.
So
But kilos also? No dice?
I don't think they've done the kilo in gold for Series 3, have they, Rubes?
I haven't seen one, no. There was some 10 ounce Lunars I've seen, and they used to do the kangaroo in a 10 ounce as well.
Jump on the blower, Michael.
Yeah.
Sort it out.
Could be yeah. What's going on over there?
Yeah.
So in the golds, the only one that's currently missing is the 120th. Everything else will be here right from the start. In the silver, it's a little different. So in the silver, the 1/2 ounce, the 1 ounce, and the 2 ounce will all be available for order as of Monday. And we've got confirmed orders with the Perth Mint for all of those, and we are expecting them towards the end of the month. The 5 ounce, the kilo, and the 10 kilo in silver will not be available until next year. I can't give you any more information than that as to availability. So that's where we're currently sitting with those.
There's a couple of questions kind of coming back through, so I am probably going to point people to going back and watching a little bit earlier in the stream, because we have answered a couple of the questions there, like being able to do things over the counter and things like that.
Absolutely. You can do the pre-order over the counter. That's fine.
Yep.
Mark
Or
Twain
over the phone,
would
for
like
that matter.
would like some help understanding premiums. Do our premium percentages change depending on the price of silver, i.e. premiums go down if spot price goes up and opposite way around?
So the percentages would change, but that's only because we use a fixed percentage. We don't use a fixed premium. We don't use a percentage premium. So if spot doubled, our premium would be a lot smaller percentage overall. And I don't think that's actually what you're asking. I think you're saying, do your premiums change? And our premiums...
Yeah, do our premiums go down if spot price goes up is kind of their question.
No, our premiums stay the same. So the premium over spot should stay the same, other than that there will be occasional price rises. So I got advised this week by one of the local refineries that they're putting their prices up. So the premium on our locally produced in the next week or so will probably increase slightly. It's unusual for that to occur, but it does happen on the odd occasion. But no, generally the premium stays the same irrespective of spot price movement. The only time we tend to change premium is when we're hit with a higher wholesale charge.
I wanted to quickly go through an email that a viewer sent in for us. And it was...
It's been a while since I've heard an email.
No, we don't try and hit them when
What
they
have we
come
got?
We're going
through.
old school, mate.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
I
we
need to
should
do
print
it.
them out and
We can do a little bit of
shuffle
a
them
plug for the email there. It's going to be sitting in an awkward spot there. I'm sorry. But yeah, you can email anything through to us at live@bullionnow.com.au. But yeah, this email was in regards to talking about PVC on the Germania mint bars, because they are actually wrapped in a plastic. And apparently someone had asked Germania Mint if they had PVC in them, and the answer wasn't quite as simple as just a yes or a no.
Hang on, we should pitch this one at Matt. This is Matt's area.
Well, I was going to say yeah.
hit it.
Well,
Was that the whole email?
yeah, no. Well, I'll throw up the email, because it was Campbell's Coins emailed into Germania and got this response. So I'll throw up the email there. So the long story short is there is actually PVC in them, but apparently they've done a little bit of figuring out kind of what elements on it are bad and which are good. They're quite new to the bars, but they have been doing coins for a little while. So I'd hope that they've been able to do some longevity there. If you're interested in reading the entire thing, I'll leave that up there for a second, or you can go back and look at it. But long story short, there is some PVC in the plastic around the outside, but they kind of rely on some changes they made and also the boxes that they're in to help protect them from that as well. So Michael, you and I in the video spoke about whether we'd keep them in the boxes or not. Apparently from Germania they're saying to do that, because it will help protect them from the UV a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. And I have I have heard of some of the accessories companies for coins that produce folders and what have you that do have a PVC component. But I think you're right. I think technology is developing to a point where it's not necessarily, you know, the boogeyman anymore. I think historically, and I'm probably in that camp of I've developed an aversion to it. So if I see it, I hit the panic button. I get nervous.
Yeah.
But I think that PVC is no longer as not quite as controversial as it once was. I think this guy's probably hit the nail on the head in that, you know, they've adjusted the, you know, perhaps the quantity of it or any other kind of additives that they put into the mix. But I know historically PVC was really problematic in the record industry. Just banging my mic around there. I watched a doco on record, like vinyl records, and it was hugely problematic, like seeping onto the records.
Oh wow!
Because like old vinyl sleeves had PVC in them, so it was a big deal, and there was like a huge transition period where people were moving to non-PVC based slip cases. So I think perhaps this is an example of the precious metals market making a similar transition to a different kind of, I don't know, alloy, if you will.
So yeah, Campbell's Coins did a full video on that if you wanted to check it out.
Cool.
And thank you, Glenn, as well for sending that through.
I want to pick one up here. Terry Watson's saying, why don't we only have Australian animals from Perth Mint? Rabbit and mouse, what's the go with them? Who picks what we get? I've got to actually stand up a little bit for Perth Mint here. They do a lot. The vast majority of their coins, I would argue, are Australian-based.
Heaps, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The Lunar series is pitched more towards the Asian market, although having said that, it's really popular in Germany and the States. But, you know, obviously it's got to have the lunar animals on it. But, I mean, we get quokkas, we get kangaroos, we get kookaburras, we get koalas. We get the Super Pit mine, we get, like, there is so much Australian
the Wombat
stuff.
series, yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few, when you get into it.
So it's determined by the lunar calendar, so it's kind of the one series they do that,
Yeah. And in fact, to have an Australian legal tender on it, the deal is that it has to have an Australian theme, all except for the lunar. It's the only one that sidesteps that. But everything else that comes out of the Perth Mint, if it's got an Australian currency on it, it will be Australian themed in some way. Now, that doesn't mean, like they did a locomotive series. Now, you could say, well, you know, we didn't invent the locomotive or anything like that. No, we didn't. But each of those locomotives had an Australian theme to them. The vast majority of what the Perth Mint produces is very much Australian themed.
French wants to know why the BN service is so slow via email. It's infuriating.
I can't apologise enough for this. We've been struggling massively with the quantity of emails that have been coming through. I mentioned this, I think it was on the Wednesday live stream. Ruben and I got really, really excited the other day because we managed to get it down to under 100 emails that were unread at that point. And that lasted all of about 15 seconds before it was well and truly back over 100 again. I can only apologise, and I know there is still a few emails out there that I think are 9 days out of date, and it is completely unacceptable. It's not usually like this. We're going through a purple patch where we're really struggling for a whole variety of reasons. You know, there's huge demand through the store, so that's obviously taking people off the phones and off the emails. You know, we've done the Around Australia tour or the world tour. You know, that took while all of us were actually doing emails while we're away, it obviously took our focus away from emails. We've had some staff illnesses, which means we've been down some staff as well. So that's gone against us. So and just demand generally, not only through the store, but demand and interest generally, you know, with the unfortunate passing of Queen Elizabeth and the inquiries that's caused, and the general increase in interest in bullion overall. It's just the throughput has been horrendous. it's really common conversation for us to say, you know, I cleared one email, got back on there, and there was 4 more had arrived, or I answered one email and it generated 2 more responses. So I can only apologise. We are getting on top of it. I'm hoping to be on top of it by the end of this weekend, and we're back to a normal response where we should be getting back to people within 24 hours of an email, and that's always our aim. So again, full apologies on it. Hopefully we've got that almost sorted now.
Stephen just reckons it's because Matt's been away.
Yeah, that's it.
Not, MVP.
Daz is asking here, any news on the Yale?
Yeah, I was asked about this. I didn't know we were getting them.
We've got them.
Oh, well, good, because my suggestion was about a week.
Well, you're probably
Sort of my
you're half
go-to.
accurate. So we've got the Yales.
Mm.
The problem is that they dispatched. Rubes, correct me because you were there for the unboxing. They've sent us the gold, so we've got the 1 ounce and the 1/4 ounce in gold.
Mm-hmm.
They sent us platinum.
Yes.
The silver they sent us, they only gave us a partial order for. So we have 15 10-ounce Yale coins.
That's enough for a
It's
video
silver.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and then do what with?
Yeah, and
Pre-order the rest.
And an equally
dear,
useless
please
number
no.
of, are they 1 ounce or 2 ounce? They'd be 2 ounce, wouldn't they? An equally useless number of 2 ounce in silver. So what we've decided we're going to do is either over, it's more likely to be early next week, but over the weekend or Monday, we will release the unboxing video that will release the gold and the platinum. And we're going to hold off on the silver until we actually get an amount where we can release it and not get inundated with abusive emails. Back to the email conversation.
Yep.
Or phone calls of, what the hell? You know, you listed the video and 15 seconds later you'd run out. So, yeah, stand by on the silver, but the gold and platinum will be available either over the weekend or Monday next week.
Aussie Kelpie Matt wants to know what your thoughts on vacuum sealing bags are for storing coins and bullion. Is it safe?
Oh, that would depend on the type of plastic you're using. Vacuum sealing. We're referring to the full-on...
I'm assuming the
like suck the
full-on...
living daylights out of it.
Yeah.
That'd be all right for bars. I wouldn't put anything in a box in there
and
because
I've
it'd
seen
probably
people
damage
bring
the box.
bars in that have been vacuum sealed. For any numismatic coins, I wouldn't suggest it.
Why?
Well, like as I think Ruben sort of hinted at, if you've got a box, the outer box being just as
It's just the
valuable as the
pressure
coin
of the vacuum
inside,
is gonna-
you end up
yeah.
crushing or crimpling that in any capacity.
Absolutely.
And you'll know all about it. But if you have a coin, a numismatic coin, let's say a proof coin, it should already come in a capsule, and it's presented in a way that is deemed sufficient by the mint in the first instance. So you generally won't need to. You shouldn't need to touch it ever.
I really want to pick on that statement of deemed by the mint because I've seen some coins that are not
Masterpieces
that
in
old
silver?
that are obviously
Boxes.
Back
you
to
know
the
not in
PV
great condition.
Back to the PVC subject. In the 1980s and even earlier as well, the Royal Australian Mint thought PVC was great for coin storage. And that goes back to the record reference that I made. At the time it was because we didn't have historical data. We didn't know that 10, 15, 20 years down the track, it would all start...
Asbestos.
Yeah, well, exactly. All of these things, you know, it's like, oh, it's really great at the time. But, yeah, there was a lot of coins being stored. The entire Royal Australian Mint archives were being stored in PVC flips. Every single coin in their archives was in PVC flips. And they thought, oh, this is such a great idea. It's not a great idea. But hindsight being what it is, you can easily sit back now and say, oh, you know, what a bunch of fools. But at the time, they're acting with the best information they had.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Would you recommend vacuum sealing? Or, you know, is it safe?
I actually don't have a problem with the vacuum sealing. You're right
If
with
it's already
the
in a capsule, yeah, do whatever you like.
even
To prevent moisture getting in there, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, sure.
yeah, you're going to control the environment a lot more.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got to be very careful of the plastic bag that you're vacuum sealing it in
Yeah.
because that could introduce new contaminants. And yeah, if it was in a beautiful Perth Mint collector's cardboard box, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
vacuum sealing it because you'd obviously apply pressure where you shouldn't. But if you've got a coin that you want to remove from the box and vacuum seal it, I actually would not, subject to those provisos, I'd
Yeah.
actually have no issue with it.
For me, it feels almost like having your bar in a BN bag and then saying, well, should I put it in another bag? Sure, you can.
Have you? No, you
sorta-
wouldn't have. I was going to ask a rhetorical question or a stupid question. Then I was going to say, have you ever met my mother? When my mum, this always makes me smile. When my mother bought her new car for the first time,
Yeah.
because I go through history and all that sort of crap, but I won't. So her first new car, she wanted it looked after, so she bought new floor mats for it. So she put the floor mats down on there, and then she put plastic down to protect the floor mats to protect the carpet. Then she put newspaper down to protect the plastic to protect the floor mats to protect the carpet. Then you had to take your shoes off before you were allowed in the car to protect the paper that was protecting the plastic, that was protecting the floor mat, that was protecting the carpet. And then she brought little booties for you to put on your socks to protect them.
Yeah,
And it
because
just
I can,
got
I can
ridiculous.
just see you coming in, mud
Trucking
and
mud.
crap all over your boots, coming in, putting them up on the seat.
Well, I was
Yeah,
a
that's
farm
good.
boy.
Yeah.
I've got to admit to that.
Absolutely.
But it just...
Was the carpet safe?
Yeah, mate, her car, I tell you, because we traded in that car, because at that stage my brother worked for Ford, so she could change her car over regularly, and it basically cost her nothing.
Yep.
And we traded it in, and I'm not kidding you, the car that we traded in was in better condition than the new car that we got. It's kind of like those Perth Mint kilo bars.
Do we have any Bullion Star Wars coming up? We did the release of some little coin shop ones. I got a couple of little photos there of them. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to show the photos as well because they looked good.
Oh, jeez.
But do we have any Bullion ones coming through? Wombat's
Not
asking.
currently. I was looking at the New Zealand Mint just sent me an expression of interest for the next round of Boba Fett's. Boba Fett. How do you pronounce that one? I get it wrong every time.
I've always said Boba.
Yeah, whatever it is. Anyway, the next round of their gold and silver coins, they look brilliant.
Kevin spoke to Matt this week. Great to deal with. He's wondering if it's time for a pay rise for him. But can we please explain the difference between
good
3
tip.
9s 5 and 4 9s for everyone?
Can you highlight comments? Can you pin comments to the top of the chat? Sorry, I didn't listen to the question.
Yeah, I figured you'd tune
My
out
head
after
was
that.
too big and in the way.
Can you guys explain the difference between 3 9s 5 and 4 9s?
Yeah, sure. So you're talking about, and I had a robust discussion with a customer in the shop yesterday because they were very concerned when they saw that one of their bars was listed as 3 9s with a 5 on the end and thought, oh, geez, is this going to be a problem if I bring it back? Are you going to, am I going to get a significantly less return on this bar? And I had to explain that you're getting into... You're really getting into the weeds in terms of the volume of purity that you're referring to, and I think we said this a couple of times on the tour that when we XRF those bars and things like that, they generally come up as 4 9s anyway. I think it was more so for people or the refineries to give themselves a little bit of a tolerance in case there was some sort of teeny tiny inclusion when they were refining their bars. But I'm actually yet to see a bar that comes up with the 5 on the XRF. It all comes up as 4 9s.
I have seen it
From
with
what
some
I've seen.
very old vintage bars, but anything in the last...
some of the and that stuff's cool. And that
And that
you
often
get into
then
that
sells for
territory,
more, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I'm more inclined to head in the direction of an old bar that's a little bit imperfect. Yeah, because that stuff has a bit more character.
Yeah, look, it made a difference 40 years ago. These days, like honestly, the difference, think about it. You've got 99.95% pure and 99.99% pure. You're talking 0.04% difference, even if it was at that, and it's not. They're all either they don't want to update their stamps or they're just leaving themselves that wriggle room. Honestly, it makes no difference. Even ones that come through 3 9s, which is more common. Perth Mint kilo bars are still stamped 3 9s.
Yeah.
Or are they have they just rolled them to 4 9s?
No, they're still stamped 3.
Yeah. So it's, like, that's not even 3 9s 5. That's just 3 9s.
Yeah.
No.
We're talking about purity of purple of my shirt versus Michael's shirt.
Yeah. Like
Both
it's...
are purple shirts.
Well, yeah, honestly, if it was just stamped near enough, I think we'd solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yep. That is a good question, though. I don't want that response to feel like we were discounting the validity of the question, because it is something that does pop up from time to time.
Yeah.
Peter Grace McGuire raises a good point to go back to the vacuum sealing conversation, that the 1 ounce Perth Mint cast bars from Perth Mint, the last batch we got through, Michael, were actually in a vacuum sealed thing. So obviously that's more towards the Bullion bar point of view, but yeah, there is examples of.
Yeah,
straight
that's
from the
not
mints.
that's not for long-term
That's not for
protection
long-term.
against impurities. That's purely to keep them protected and stable in travel, so they don't bang around the box or any of those sorts of things. So
Yeah.
it's purely for transport. That vacuum sealed hold them in place.
Quickly here from Terry, they've noticed that some other stores 395 is sometimes a little cheaper than 49s. Is that potentially just to do with the brand or whatever associated with
I would suspect so, because I would challenge anyone to.
the actual silver content was different?
The
yeah.
refineries don't go, well, today we're producing 395 and tomorrow we're going to produce 49s.
Yeah, kick it into overdrive.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I actually don't know. I'm sure someone's going to come up with but this one does. But I don't know a refinery that, in gold or silver, that produces anything other than 49s. Like that is that's the standard industry.
Yeah.
Or at least they use the granular, because someone made the comment about, for example, the BN Tour bars were stamped with 395.
Again,
but
I would
they
put that
used-
down to the. I don't want to use the word laziness.
It's a
The
little bit
fact
to
that-
cover their backs. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. That's. I know the refinery that produced them. Funnily enough, because I ordered them. I also know the source of their silver, and I also know their refining process, and it is world class. And I don't care what test you ran over it. There's no way to test at 395. It would test 49s every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt's thoughts on CAC or CAC starting up a coin grading service in 2023?
Yeah, good luck.
Well, yeah, geez, if you're competing against the likes of PCGS, yeah, all the very best to them. CAC is an interesting one. I'm not really big in the US scene of numismatics, but conceptually, it strikes me as odd. So for those that don't know, CAC, I think it's I looked it up a moment ago, the Certified Acceptance Corporation. So it was started up by a coin dealer named John Albanese, and effectively
Sounds very prime ministerial.
effectively what he does, or the concept of the business, is that he will put a CAC sticker, a little oval shaped sticker, on a PCGS or an NGC slab, and either suggest that it is overgraded, undergraded, or accurate. And people pay.
Are you kidding me?
I'm deadly serious. That's
How has he not ended up in court? If I owned PCGS, I'd have him in court tomorrow.
I'll get on the blower to PCGS and see what they think about it. But this is my understanding, and yeah. So you can get gold stickers where he'll say this is an MS64, but I think it should be an MS65 or a 64 plus. So I think it's been undergraded. Well, technically, it's just one guy's opinion, right?
Well,
so
yeah.
he's highly regarded. So he's not John Citizen just shooting from the hip. This guy's an expert. He knows what he's.
Yeah, but what he's
talking
saying
about.
is that you don't know what you're talking. Like, not you personally, you
Yeah,
PCGS. You're not good enough to grade these coins. You need me to oversee it. Like that would go to the integrity of PCGS or NGC.
Arguably, however, grading it's not supposed to be subjective, but over the years it's been generally accepted that PCGS have sort of tightened up their grading protocols and procedures, and they've some of the earlier stuff people refer to the old green slabs as occasionally being undergraded, so they were a bit more conservative, perhaps is the word. And so if you crack it out and regrade it, it might come back at a higher grade. So the idea is that this guy is doing that to save you the time of regrading a coin. It's a very interesting one. So but it's highly regarded. So some of his stickers have added tens of thousands of dollars in value to a single coin. So it's not, not everyone has this reaction to it. I think
it's disgusting, just quietly.
Well,
because either the grading service has integrity or it doesn't. Now I absolutely support the fact that some coins are overgraded or undergraded.
Yeah.
And again, you've got to accept human error in any system. But if you can set up a business where your whole job is questioning the integrity of a grading service, it means the grading service is should be irrelevant.
that's one take on it, but you got to consider that.
I would have said that was the only take on it.
No, well, PCGS. It's so your coin is graded by 3 experts on a panel. It goes through 3 experts. They come up with a consensus, and then off it goes. This John Albanese gentleman could have been in. Let's just say conceivably, right? Myself and 2 other numismatists combined 30 years experience. John may have been in the industry for 40, 50 years.
Yeah, but it's only
And
one person's opinion. What they've done is they've taken the average of 3, which I would say is far fairer than just saying, well, this person knows more than those 3 people combined.
Yeah, but there are people. Well, obviously, so the premise, the way that his business works, and seemingly successfully, is his credibility as an authority on the
But it's
subject.
only his opinion.
Absolutely, and people pay for opinions. People want validation in what it is, particularly when it comes to investing. Like people want to be have their item endorsed as what they want it to be, and if you
Good
can
on
get
'em.
that from a reliable source, but
But it's not reliable.
I'm loving
it's one
this
person's
conversation. This
opinion.
is great.
it is. But it's someone who is incredibly knowledgeable, and not even arguably, they are an authority on the
So-
subject.
I reckon we should make up some BN stickers, and we'll actually grade his grading of their grading.
But see, that won't get up because, unfortunately, Michael and Matt don't have quite the same reputation in the industry.
Crypto Monkey
this-
makes a great point. The layers may never end, like Michael's mum's car mats. The grading of the grading of the grading of the grading.
I love it.
That's great.
No, but so this is so all right. To get back to basics, this is the reason why no Australian third-party grading system has ever been successful. There is no one with the credibility and the knowledge base to effectively put their stamp with wide acceptance on the grade of coins. So this gentleman obviously has that level of clout and credibility in the US market, which is that's nothing to sneeze at. To have that level of credibility in the US market is massive. So I think it's interesting. I don't, if they're starting up their own grading company, good on them. I'm sure they'll do incredibly well, but
In
I don't
Australia,
know why
you mean, or the
in the US. I don't
Yeah.
think it will get up in Australia because Australia is pretty slow with the uptake on that sort of front. Like even adopting PCGS has been a very slow process in Australia with the collectors. So I think it'll be a long ways off. But I think anything like that's good. You know, if you can get extra levels of authentication and verification in the industry, I'm all for it. But it has to be from a credible source, which is why, again, Australia has struggled with that because people have tried and failed. Because the first major, like you say, human error that occurs, your credibility's gone.
Yeah.
Well, Matt reckons it'll look like a bar fridge covered in stickers.
But it doesn't, like in Australia, we don't have the depth of expertise. So we're in the States and places like that, they can draw in hundreds of qualified numismatists
Yeah.
to grade. In Australia, I'd be amazed if there was 100
Oh, yeah.
qualified, gradable
Absolutely.
numismatists in the country.
Personally, there's probably, I can count on 2 hands
Yeah,
the
I-
amount of numismatists that I know personally in Australia that I would say your word is the definitive word on
Yeah.
the grade of a coin.
Well, there's an interesting point. If you got it graded for something at PCGS, you sent it off to this to get the sticker, and you got back lower.
Yep.
Would it be worth
You
more
peel
with
the
the
sticker
sticker,
off and
or
you
would you
keep
peel
going?
the sticker off? That's the would it be worth
Absolutely.
more with that additional
Peel the
sticker,
sticker off.
Yeah,
every
or would you
time.
peel off the sticker?
No, you peel off the sticker.
Sticker.
Yeah, okay. No, didn't like that grade. Let me just get rid of that one.
Well, look, I mean, in all honesty, if you got a grading back in a coin and you went, I don't believe that grading is correct,
Yeah.
I think it's a higher grade. I'm going to crack open the slab and I'm going to send it back for
Very
regrading.
common, super common.
know, like
people do that, and regularly with coins, particularly because you can get once you get up to the pointy end of the market, you can be talking $20,000 for one grade up. So it can be worth doing. And if you think that people would fly to the shows in Hong Kong and do the on the spot grading, and then if they didn't like it, break it out, send it over to the US office and get a different set of eyes on it and.
But at the
Cross
end,
your fingers.
At the end of the day, you've got to understand that a grading is only ever a person's opinion. Now, I know
Yeah.
PCGS, you're saying it's 3 people, and that's the average of 3, and I've got no issue with that.
Yeah.
But it is one person's opinion. It's not like a maths test where it's either right or it's wrong. It's more like a uni. My biggest argument in university was the problem with doing law was that there was never a correct or an incorrect answer. It was just depended on how you argued it. And it's kind of the same thing with grading. It's very rarely it's black and white. It's depending on how you look at it. And you and I can look at toning, and you can go, "That's beautiful," and I can go, you'd say it's beautiful, it's worth extra, and I'd look at it and go, "Well, that sucks. It's worth less."
Well, I guess the idea with a company like PCGS is they've set up an infrastructure that has as close to a benchmark system as possible, and they've set it up so if you have toning or something like that, that won't detract from the grade because they're looking at the
toning was just an obvious point of difference between us two.
Yep. I think PCGS is legit. Super legit.
I think they are as good, and NGC as well. I think they're as good as you're going to get in a human system.
Yep.
Eventually we'll probably get to some form of AI, computer photo recognition where it can actually break it down into pixels and grade each pixel sort of thing. But I think when you've got humans involved, something like PCGS or NGC is as good as it's going to get.
Yep.
And by paying someone else, this guy, okay, he might be qualified, and I've been fairly derogatory, and I probably shouldn't have. You're getting a fourth opinion. So it's giving it more authenticity in that you've now got 4 opinions.
Yeah.
To me, there's no reason why you wouldn't shop it to another 3 people and get 8 opinions. And then take the
That's
average
true.
of the 8.
But you need to be able to get access to these people. And I think that's also the reason why, as I mentioned earlier, the reason why we don't have a reputable grading company in Australia is because all the people I mentioned that I know personally who I would, if I had to assemble a panel and create an Australian company, I would be taking directors of their own companies.
Yeah.
And let's say that happened in a bullion sense, and they said, all right, let's get all the bullion dealers together. If I said, Michael, do you want to join the panel for this bullion grading company? It'll only take 5 hours a day out of your day. Do you have that free time?
Absolutely.
Can you do that? It's hard enough to pin you down for a live stream. So
I was going to say, now we're back at the why haven't you answered all my emails?
Exactly. And that's the thing. You've got so many competing priorities. So to get people running their own businesses to then say, all right, well, I'll put that on hold. Some of them have 1 staff or no staff. I'll put that all on hold so I can go grade coins and hope this business takes off. It's an interesting one.
Even if the business is successful, for me to say, okay, well, I'll put Bullion Now aside and I'll go and spend 5 hours, even in another company I own that does that with other people, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to commit to that. I'm busy enough over here.
Exactly. So I think that's this has been, whoever asked this question.
That was Phil. This has been a tangent
You've
and
done
a half.
incredibly well. I don't think anything's got us on this deep of a rabbit hole.
We should have an award for who can distract us for the longest.
That is a good one. If it's sort of related to coins, I think you'll sort of hit a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Kevin wants to know if this is the busiest we've ever been, or have there been busier times?
I think that's a bit subjective. I would say we've had busier times.
You could isolate it though. You could say certain days like Diwali, that time.
Oh,
when
we're the only ones open.
I saw the footage of that day versus...
Ruben and I still have PTSD from that.
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
Speaking of which, can I get confirmation? Are we open on that day this year?
Oh, Diwali?
Yeah. Oh, is it a Saturday?
Oh, you know what?
Saturday.
No, it's not. It's a Wednesday this year.
Oh.
And I have this really terrible feeling that I haven't joined the dates together. It's the day after. No, it's not. It's the week before Melbourne Cup.
Michael was having a little hard
Well,
time.
so we need to get a definitive, because I thought...
We are open for it.
Okay, because I asked and I was told no, so...
We're definitely
apologies
open for
to the gentleman I spoke with today and said,
yeah,
I do not believe we are open.
No, we're definitely open for it. Look, I would argue there are times when we've been busier, but the problem is that we have a lot more people employed at Bullion now than during those times. So when there was only me on the front desk, mate, if I had 3 people in the store, I was beside myself.
You'd start telling a story and then everyone would get impatient.
Whereas, now there's I think there's 19 of us all together.
Yeah.
3 people in the store is not the end of the world.
Yep.
So, yes, we're busier. If you took today's volume and took it to 3 years ago when it was only a couple of us, you'd kill us.
Yep.
But today, most days we handle it.
Yep, that's true. The villain says he's happy to come help if we need it.
Always need help.
Absolutely, yeah.
Some of it's just psychiatric help. Oh, dear.
Are we getting any 2023 Queen's Head effigy Britannias?
This is going to be the every week question, isn't it?
Yep.
For the rest of the year. The short answer is we're trying. It's going to be the key for the year, I'd suggest, out of the Britannias.
Yep.
And yeah, we are trying.
BDK wants to know if they were to sell their Germania mint bar without the plastic wrapping back to us, would it be harder to sell as a buyback, or does that not matter because silver is silver?
It would be a buyback and it would be gone the 5 minutes after you sold it.
That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah. In our buybacks, I think the question you're possibly trying to ask is, would you, we wouldn't sell. We'd sell it as a straight buyback. We wouldn't sell it as a Germania mint. Again, it would just be sold as a buyback. So it's competing with knocked around Perth mints and old vintage bars and all sorts of things that kick through our buyback. So
which
it
is
would
currently
be
empty. We need to clarify that.
Yeah, which is currently empty.
We've been wiped out.
Yeah. So, it's kind of like it'd just be another bar in the mix.
There you go. We had some clarification. Apparently, it's on the 24th of the 10th, which is a Monday, Michael.
Well, Diwali actually
You were
goes...
just saying it was on a Wednesday.
Well, I was going to say,
Well,
that'll be the
mate.
start of the festival, I think, and then there's the Festival of Lights and the... there's a
so
few different
Diwali
key
goes... Oh, I really shouldn't get out on a limb on this.
yeah, just do it live. Just
I'm
no, no.
obviously not Indian, so I'm really stretching it here. We've actually got someone coming in on Monday to speak to us about Diwali and give us the whole history.
Speak to us, or are you doing a video? Is
No,
it
we
going
can
to
do a video on it.
Hey, cool.
And for obvious reasons, I'm not the authority on this. And that's why we've asked him to come in and talk to us. So if you've got questions relating to Diwali, what it is, and the dates, out of pure respect that I don't offend someone because I'm bound to, because I go in usually with both feet, stand by. We will release a video on it with someone that actually has some knowledge rather than me that makes it up.
Very good.
Are we going to draw... We might have to draw it to a close soon. We're coming up to an
It's
hour and
nearly
a half.
4 o'clock. See what happens when I drop in, energy picks up, time gets away. Oh, actually, you know what?
It is
when
good.
there's a coin question.
Oh, and there is that. It is good to have you back, Matt. It has been a while.
It's all good. But we do need to draw it to a close there. I hadn't realised the time, so I do apologise. Apparently, we've got emails awaiting.
We do.
So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the fact that we dragged Matt in and we also dragged Con and Andrew in just to give you a bit of spice of life there.
That was good.
We'll try and introduce some more of the staff. We don't, for people that question, we only have guys here. We don't only have guys. We absolutely have some girls that work here as well. But we will not ever overly encourage or force anyone to come in front of the camera if they're not comfortable to. So you will only see the people who are willing to put their hand up. And I actually feel a little bit guilty because I think I actually bullied Andrew into it a little bit.
Oh, he loves it. He has a good time.
Because I'm going, come on, mate, you'll be right.
Very humble.
Just have a crack.
Maybe we need to organise a live cross to
do a bit
Sylvia
of-
and Emma and Bailey and
Yeah, that'd be cool.
like a little weather report type
Trouble is,
thing.
we do a live cross over there, you're likely to see the wall because no one will be standing in front of it.
Yeah.
They'll bolt in separate directions.
We can pre-record something and do a bit of a, hello from the...
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
So that's it.
What have we got coming up over the weekend? Yeah, okay.
Bit of
I'll-
sleep.
Okay. We should hopefully... I'll have to confirm a couple more things, but we should hopefully
yes.
have an interview with Perth Mint coming up over the
Oh, really?
weekend,
That's
which
coming.
we're
Yeah.
excited for.
So
Yeah.
that's with Neil, who's the... Rubes? What's his
Manager
title?
of Minted Products.
Yeah, so he looks after all the coins and that type of stuff. So fascinating discussion with him. So look out for that. That will be released over the weekend. What else are we doing over the weekend, Rubes?
Well, there is another unboxing that's sitting there for a whole bunch of gold.
Including the Yales.
Well, including the L's.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if that'll be over the weekend, though. We're going to have to see how we go. That's sitting in the pipeline. And then we'll have Lunar launching on the Monday. So we're
Full tilt.
gonna have to do. It's gonna be a busy couple of
Yeah,
days,
bumper
and
to
then
bumper.
we got some more Star Wars coins to unbox.
Oh,
We've got
spammy.
Diwali coming up. It's gonna be a busy couple of weeks,
It-
and then the swap over with the websites and stuff in there as well. So all fun and games.
Yeah, basically, we'll see you all in about 6 months. It's been the last stream for a while.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
but good to see some stuff coming through. So
Alrighty, we're going to draw it to a close there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thanks, Matt and Ruben, for kicking along. We will be back next week with all sorts of fun things as well as stuff over the weekend. We'll do another live stream on Wednesday, 2 o'clock Australian summertime, daylight savings time. So check your Google for the local time, whatever that is, wherever you are. We will also do the live stream on Friday, where it'll be a bit more casual and relaxed, and that will also be at 2:30 on Friday, Australian daylight savings time. Anyone want to add anything to that?
I think we're good.
That's it. Thank you very much.
See you next week.
See ya.